What is up? It is Madison. I am making this video out of stress and anxiety and nervousness, but I figured it might be something y'all would be interested in and it can maybe help you out a little bit too. Finals are just around the corner and I am getting more petrified as the seconds go by. I am very thankfully in the position where I really only have one final that truly matters and that I'm truly nervous for. It is 24% of my grade, which boggles my mind, just because most finals are maybe 20, I'd say, but 24%, a quarter of my grade, dependent on a 2.5 hour test, scares me a little bit. Regardless, we have a little bit of time to study and prep, and today I wanted to show y'all how I use my iPad to take notes and prep for final exams. I have the iPad Pro and use Notability to take notes. I have tried GoodNotes, I have tried OneNotes a little bit, and really just find that Notability works for me the best and suits my interests the most. But regardless, use whatever works for you. If you do not have an iPad, you can still do these things on a computer, by hand, on a phone, things like that. They're just little study tips and tricks. And how I use my iPad to my best of my abilities, how my words, and how I use my iPad to my advantage. Let's go. First things first, on my iPad, I really enjoy using study timers. Now, if you've never heard of a study timer, it is more of like an incentivized way or an easier way to keep track of how long you're going to study for. Sometimes I find myself getting distracted if I don't set a time limit on how long I'm planning to stay focused and not touch my phone. Yes, you can set a timer on your phone, but I'm the kind of person that really doesn't like having my phone within reach because I know I will instinctively grab it. Having a timer on my iPad allows me to turn off all of my notifications, put my phone aside, sit down and focus, and know when I can give myself a break. I've gotten way into watching Pomodoro videos lately, and I've actually even made a few, so I'd go check those out if that is something you're interested in. But Pomodoro is a technique used to study that lets you give yourself fixed study sessions and then break times. So the typical one is 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. I really like this routine because it gives me something to look forward to. I am excited to go eat some ice cream for that 10 minutes. I'm excited to go lay in my bed. And it really allows me to sit down focused and get my work done during that set time. Study timers, again, can just really help you stay on track. There's a ton of study timers on the App Store, such as Flora, Focus Keeper, Study Bunny, Focus To Do, and a few more depending on what your needs might be. This next one might be a bit obvious, but it is really handy to take practice exams on your iPad. Now, you might not have an iPad, so you might just have to do this on pencil and paper, but I'm an aerospace engineering student. I've said that 1,000 times. I feel so annoying when I say it, but there is kind of like a secret aerospace drive. I don't know how secret it is. I think the professors know about it at this point. But there are a ton of practice exams going back to like 2014 for all the exams for the class, which is really nice. I can easily download them from Google Drive, write directly onto the exam on my iPad in Notability, and take the exam that way. This is super nice. Again, I can set a timer, sit down, focus, do an old test to get some repetition in, and you can really simulate the test environment. Being able to write directly on the exam like you would in a real exam setting really helps me kind of sit down, get focused, get in the mood, and get my work done. And of course, all of the different pen and highlight features on the iPad and on Notability make it super easy to go back, find my mistakes, edit my work, make changes, correct myself, things like that, and just get the most out of my study experience. Another thing I've started doing about a year ago is making kind of master guides of all of my notes before an exam. So I typically like to do this before each exam and then once again before the final. taking the time to rewrite all of your notes and the most important parts of it can really help solidify things in your brain, especially if you're going back to content you haven't touched since January or February. Just writing down little things to jog your memory, get things going again, can be really, really helpful. This also gives you a great resource to look back on. While you're studying, you can have all of your notes condensed in one place, the most important parts, all your equations, everything like that, so you're not scrolling back through old notes. And if you are fortunate in the sense that you can actually use your notes on exams, which right now with online classes, my classes do allow that, I guess just because they assume kids are probably gonna cheat and use their notes anyways, make it legal, make it so that you're not going to violate the honor code and be able to do that. I really like being able to do this on Notability because I can upload it to my Google Drive, download it to my computer, and have this notes cheat sheet master guide on one of my monitors. Again, I say cheat sheet like it's cheating. It's not cheating. This is totally legal for my classes. Make sure it is with yours before you use this technique. Regardless, even if you don't use it during your exam, this is a great study resource because you can have all of your notes condensed in one place, and physically writing everything out again is really good to jog your memory. If you are able to use your notes during your exam, having them on a monitor or even just on your iPad, something again to easily look back to when you're in a time crunch, can be really, really useful and handy. Depending on your classes, you might have pre-recorded lectures, you might have quizzes that you take online on Canvas, Moodle, something of the sort, and being able to do that on my iPad I found is super, super useful, especially when I'm in a lazy mood. If I still want to be a little bit productive, but maybe give myself a bit of a break from sitting at my desk all day, I really enjoy just taking my iPad, laying in my bed, lounging on my comfy chair, something like that, where I can just hold my iPad in my hand and still be productive. The iPad split screen feature is honestly one of the most amazing parts about my iPad. I can have my textbook on one side and my notes on the other. I can have a video lecture on one side and my notes on the other, and be able to take notes and watch or read another resource at the same time is so, so, so amazing. It's really nice to be able to actually get significant work done on my iPad when I'm feeling kind of lazy, don't want to have my computer with me, things like that, aside from just taking notes. Again, watching the lectures, doing quizzes, things like that, all can be done in your iPad, which is really, really handy. Depending on how much time you have before your final exams, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you sit down and make yourself a to-do list. A to-do list of every single thing you want to get done for each class and prep for that, and a to-do list for every single day leading up to that. Whether you do that with Google Calendar or with a sticky notes app, I highly, highly recommend doing this. I have tried both. I find that both work really well for me. I think I do prefer the sticky notes, especially on my computer and my iPad, just because I feel like my Google Calendar is already congested enough. I find Google Calendar really nice to put in different study segments, but listing out every single thing I want to do can just kind of be a lot. Additionally, it's really, really satisfying and rewarding to physically check something off the to-do list. Whether it's a check button you get to press or just an item you get to fully delete off the list, it's nice to feel like you can actually be productive, like you've actually done something with your day, and feel like you're actually making progress. Writing out everything you want to do in order to prep for a class can really just help you visualize the steps you need to take to get where you want to get. Whether it's getting an 80, passing the class, feeling proud of yourself in the exam, things like that, being able to physically sit down, plan what is going to get you there, and how you can use each and every day to your advantage can be really, really beneficial. I highly, highly, highly recommend, this is hard, but I really recommend, do not exhaust yourself. It is so easy to get caught up, make super long to-do lists for each day, barely get anything done, feel unproductive, feel overwhelmed, feel exhausted because you're setting yourself too high standards. Whether you go to the gym, go for a hike, watch a TV show, take a nap, make time for yourself. If you're spending your entire reading day or your entire weekend studying, you're doing things wrong. You are going to get burned out. You are going to get drained. Your brain is gonna hurt, and it'll show in your scores. Take some time to put your schoolwork aside, and whether it's go to the gym, go on a hike, put that on your to-do list. Hang out with a friend, put something enjoyable on your to-do list so you A, don't forget about it, and B, you also get that serotonin boost when you get to check that off your to-do list. I've gotten to the point where I will even put club meetings on my to-do list just so I can, again, physically check something off, and make me feel productive. I personally really recommend using the sticky notes app, whether it's on your iPad or you can download one on your computer. I find myself using the one on my computer a bit more, but if it is something you want on your iPad, I wanted to throw that in there just because that is something very useful as well. As of right now, I have 4 main sticky notes on my computer for my classes. The first one, I have all of my classes listed individually and the most upcoming due dates in the next few weeks. Which at the time of filming this, I still have a week and a half of class left, and then I have finals, so I have all of my last assignments and then when my final exams are. This can give me a timeline of each individual class. It can also, again, help me visualize how much I have to do for each class. So if I have 5 assignments due in the next 8 days for one class and only 2 for the other, and those 2 are due later down the line, it lets me really take the time to focus on the classes I am a bit more busy for. Then I have an entire calendar one where it's every single day listed, and the next week, all of the due dates I have, whether it's homeworks, lab reports, exams, things like that, just that listed, so I can physically delete each day as they go by. I have the same thing going for what I want to get done that day. This is where my homework goes, or working on homework. This is where my 1 hour of study time for each class goes. This is where my club meetings go. Things like that. Those are my to-do list items. The other one, again, is what is due that day, if that makes sense. And then on my 4th one, I have everything I want to get done in the next few weeks before my final exams. So this is broken down by class, how many different practice exams I want to do, which practice exams I want to take again, what crib sheets I need to make, what lectures I feel like I need to rewatch, things like that. This allows me to know how to divvy up those tasks on that entire finals study guide sheet, or sticky note on to my daily to-do list tasks. I try to do a little bit of one of these every single day just to get my juices flowing from the really old content. At the current moment, again, still in my classes, I still have midterms because some of my classes will do midterms right up until the final exam, which is just so lovely. But regardless, my roommate and I have been getting up almost every single morning at 7 a.m, 6:30 a.m, and doing half of a practice exam every single day before class. So I've literally done 1/2 of the 2015 practice exam due on Tuesday and do the other half on Wednesday. That gives me 2 things to check off my to-do list. I can still feel like I'm being productive, getting something done, and again, even if it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you can to get your juices flowing from old content will really, really, really help you. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck with your finals. I really hope this helped. Let me know which study tips were your favorite, and if you learned anything new about the features on your iPad. I have absolutely loved every single second I have owned my iPad. I cannot say enough good things, and I cannot recommend getting one enough. If you have any hesitancies, don't, or if you do, feel free to reach out and I would be happy to just kind of explain my experience and answer any questions, things like that. But go crush your finals. You got this. It's almost summer. Go team. I love you all. Bye.